on the TD Report. We're going to start a little early, kind of get in the mood. It's a big show tonight. Chock full of great guests. The Hall of Famer and legend, Darrell Green, number 28, NFL's fastest man, NFL Man of the Year, Super Bowl champion. You name it, he's done it in the league.
Hey, 20 seasons?
20 seasons.
That's a long time. He played from the time I was 8th grade until the time.
Let me tell you.
Until the time I was 32 years old.
Tony and I had a chance to sit on the phone with Mr. Green last night doing our production meeting. He's excited to be on the show. And really, you know how we do it here on the TD Report. We're just going to chop it up. We're going to come at you real. And, Darrell Green's out in the community doing his thing. Yep. Obviously raising his family. Got a lovely wife and some good family.
Yep.
And he's going to talk with us about some stuff. I got some great topics all lined up. So I don't want to spoil the surprise. But there's some great topics we're all going to talk about. After Darrell Green, special treat, my high school, St. John's College High School in the district. St. John's High School legend, Kevin Gibbs, is going to join us on the show. Real excited about it. Kev is a great guy and a great baseball man. His brother is also the head coach at St. John's. But Kevin is also a huge, huge Alabama fan. So we're going to have to talk a little college football when K. Gibbs calls.
Yep.
So we're going to hear from him after Darrell Green. And then, of course, the real reason why everyone's here, the Bennett Breakdown.
A Bennett Breakdown.
The Bennett Breakdown is big this week because fantasy leagues are ramping up with the playoffs. We've got a slate of 6 games that we've selected, curated out of the NFL schedule. We're going to talk to you about. You guys are going to enjoy this. And Cody has been working the phones, working the Twitter account. He's working really hard. He said it's been a real rough day. And it's probably because of all the transactions. You know, Cody is in a bunch of leagues. A lot of our friends here on the TD Report are in their league. We want to see you win your league. Stick with us till the end of the show. We're going to get Cody Bennett on here. We're going to talk a lot about the games that are coming up this weekend, games of import. And also the real important thing is, just to give you a little bit of a teaser, the Ravens had a couple of positive tests. So that could affect the lineups. So these are things, this up-to-the-minute information that Cody has can benefit you in your league. Okay? That's why we're doing it. That's why we have him on the show. Again, when I send him over the sheet of the games he wanted to do, he's like, wow, that's a lot of games. I said, Cody, you're going to cover this show at the very end of it for us and take us home. We're sitting here right now just having a couple of beers. Tony has procured us some lovely beer mugs here. Let me see if I can get that right up to the camera.
Yes, indeed.
Look at that. Isn't that nice?
Linda Cusack
gave us these.
Hey, baby, thank you.
Give you a plug. Come on, we gotta do a shameless plug for her, man. Listen. If any of our listeners are looking to buy or sell a home, we personally recommend Linda Cusick of Remax in Severna Park. She services all of Anne Arundel County, and she will take great care of you. You can reach her at, listen to this number, everybody, 410-419-8873, or send her a message on Facebook under Linda Cusick. That's spelled Lyndakusick. Also, obviously, you can see these lovely mugs we got here. She also makes these. Isn't that great? So if you're interested in unique personalized gifts, check her out at Kuzi Creations, Kuzi Creations with a K on Facebook. She can make personalized tiki torches, lamps, etched glass like we have, drinkware. Really cool stuff. Just type in hashtag Kuzi Creations on Facebook and check it out. Real excited about these beer glasses, Tony. And this thing holds about 2 beers in here. This is really
good,
nice.
Man.
This is good looking stuff.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Now, since we're talking a little bit of real estate here, we want to basically, give a little shout out to our man Kirk Hilliard, Capital Mobile Notary. That's www.capital with an O mobilenotary.com. He's the owner. He's also a Hokie and a WFT fan. Show him some love. He's on Google, Yelp, Thumbtack, and Facebook. We come to you for real estate closings, wills, powers of attorneys, divorce settlements. They're local and 24/7. So definitely check out Kirk on that. Kirk, thank you very much for being a fan of the show. Always, giving us likes. We really appreciate you, bro. So what we're going to do right now on the show is just kind of keep it rolling here. We're going to wait for Mr. Green to give us a call. But just in general, Tony, how's your week been going?
Oh, it's been going great, buddy. We just getting ready for these big weekend games and just, making sure that we get everything right. It's been difficult, folks, with all the bad news. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Billy Lanier. He had a stroke.
Oh
Billy,
no, I didn't know that.
Billy,
Get well, Billy.
get well, buddy.
We love you.
Love you, man. You know we argue all the time. We argue back and forth on here about all these games and everything. Your Raiders, love you, brother.
The Raiders.
Get well, baby. I look forward to seeing you on that call, Billy, when we call you, buddy. Hopefully you get well, man.
Get well, man, and take
Get
your
well.
time. Take your
Get
time
well,
to get
Bill.
well, buddy.
You know I love you, brother. We both Tar Heels for life.
All
Always
right.
for basketball, Tar Heels.
Yeah, Tony, we haven't talked a lot of college hoops yet because not a lot's going on. But your Tar Heels, what do you think this year?
Don't know.
You don't know.
When they lost to Texas, so I don't know.
That hurt a little bit.
That hurt a little bit.
It's going to be an interesting ACC season this year. We just got the news, obviously, that the Virginia Villanova game, big top 15, top 20 matchup. But looks like the Cavaliers are going to end up playing. I think it's Gonzaga.
We're gonna get Linda on the phone here
okay.
too.
Let
me get Linda on the phone. So get Linda on the phone here, so we can get her, so she can talk about the wear that she got here, the glasses and the.
You gotta give her some product placement.
Hello, Tony.
How you doing?
How you doing, gentlemen?
Doing great, Linda. Thanks for the glasses. Can you
Thank
see
you.
them on here? These are great.
Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying them. You can fit 2 beers in there, huh?
I'm finding that out. Yes, good volume for these. These are delicious. These are great. Thank you. We're gonna make sure we get another look at that. That was fast too.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing and all the stuff that you're doing real quick, because we know you're really busy.
Yes, sir. Well, I just make custom personalized drinkware, as you can see. Put whatever image or whatever name, anything that you want on there. We also do tiki torches and lamps. I have one here, but you can't see me.
Okay.
So just go on the Facebook page, Koozie Creations, #Koozie Creations, and you can see all the stuff that I do.
Okay. Yeah. And just tell us about your real estate stuff, please, real quick.
Yes, I am a realtor with Remax in Severna Park, serving all of Anne Arundel County. I'm on a great team. DavidJMoore.net is where you can see all of our listings, and I'll be glad to help you guys out.
Yeah, well, we appreciate these mugs and everything, and we have a large audience, and we will be getting back with you on different things, and we appreciate you. I mean, this is beautiful what you just did for us tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You know.
All right, guys, get back to your show. I'm going to sit back and watch.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Please, thanks a lot.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you, guys.
All right.
Enjoy.
All right, thanks, Lynn.
Bye-bye.
All right. Linda Cusick on the TD Report. Thanks again for the mugs. And, thanks again to Tony's mom for hooking us up with some beers to put in these things, man. Get some stuff out here in the beer fridge. And in a few moments, we're going to have Darrell Green give us a call. He'll be calling in as soon as he gets a chance. Busy man, obviously, and we're real excited that he's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes to spend time with us. Thank you again for joining us on the TD Report. I'm David Combs. It's Tony Kennedy. This is about our 6 or 7 shows, somewhere in there. Really trying to enjoy it and just getting ready to ease ourselves into the playoffs. It also looks to me like somebody has sent us in some cigars here.
Oh yeah.
Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Let me see what I got here.
Yeah.
Oh, what is this?
Yeah.
This is the Intemperance Cigars 1794 Whiskey Rebellion. That sounds like Skip Martin.
Yeah,
That's
is.
Skip.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it. I'm going to smoke this on the way home, man. Victory dance.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, the Whiskey Rebellion Intemperate, it's Roma Craft Tobacco. It's a Nicaraguan Dominican filler with an Ecuadorian Habana wrapper. It looks delicious. I can't wait to try it. Tony's probably going to start his while we're here on the show. But just really appreciate that you can definitely enjoy these. I'm going to enjoy mine. I can't drink it with the beer, obviously, but I'm definitely going to But we really appreciate Skip for doing that for us. And I think what's going to happen is, it looks like, is that Darrell?
Yeah, we just getting some of the other stuff down. Okay.
Okay. So we're just going to wait on Darrell to give us a call. So
Yeah, it'd be
all
about
right.
7:25.
7:25. So we got about 10 or 11 minutes. Anybody that's going to be texting us in, we definitely, just in general, we're just going to chop it up with him. And he's got a few things he wants to go over with us as well. So hopefully everyone out here is staying happy and healthy during this pandemic. I know we've got a lot of high school kids, folks that have high school kids that are finishing up exams. I know my son will be finished on Friday. Unfortunately for him, with school being out, they canceled school one day, so they're actually going to have some of his exams are going to get pushed into January.
Wow.
So hopefully nobody else has to go through that. My son's not happy about it. I said, hey, listen, the school did what they had to do. It is what it is.
It is what it is. It's the times we living in, folks.
Yes, it is.
We're going to have some information for you tonight about COVID and how can we attack it and everything with what Mr. Green is doing. And it's going to be a great show as usual. We're here to help you guys out and to give you and pass along great info that we have with Mr. Green tonight. So it's going to be great, guys. It's going to be great.
Let's see what we got here. I think she wants to go this way. There we go.
There we go. How we go?
All right. There we go.
Right.
I'm going to move that over a little bit.
Yes, indeed.
You see, we had to get the green jersey right there in the middle. The Darrell green.
Yeah, we had.
And also, it's next to Russell Wilson's jersey because obviously the big game with
game.
WFT is going to be taking on Seattle. Don't want to steal too much thunder from the Bennett breakdown, but real excited about that. Definitely going to talk about that game as well as all the NFC East games and then other games of note around the league. In fact, if you guys want a teaser, what I'll do is I'll give you the list of games that we're going to be talking about today. Obviously, we're going to talk about that Saturday matchup, Buffalo against Denver. Trying to see if Buffalo can follow up that big win over Pittsburgh and see if they can just keep in the winning ways. They're looking good this season. So that's going to be Buffalo at Denver on Saturday. That's a Saturday matchup. Sunday matchups. San Francisco at Dallas. Look, it's the NFC least. We have to cover Dallas right now. Seattle at the WFT, 1 o'clock.
Chester said, stop calling them the NFC least. Chester Bennett, you stop that.
Chester.
Your boy, this is NFC least.
Yeah,
you know
it ain't NFC least.
It ain't
on,
the
man.
NFC East now.
This ain't the monsters of the Midway out here. So,
come on now.
Philadelphia at Arizona. That's a 4 o'clock Fox game, 4:05 kickoff. And then Kansas City at New Orleans. Interesting game. Possible Super Bowl preview. You never know.
Ooh, you never know.
You never know. That's an interesting game this late in the season. Cleveland at the G-Man. 8:20 game, NBC.
Man.
Going to see if Cleveland can get off the mat from that tough loss against the Ravens.
I told y'all the other night, those Ravens, baby. My Super Bowl pick. Lamar pulled a Willis Reed.
Let's talk about that
That's
game.
what you doing, Lamar.
Let's talk about that game. Lamar Jackson was incredible.
Yes, he was.
Now, a certain person named Ed Tomlin said that leading your team in rushing as a quarterback is bad. He led the team in rushing and passing. He looked fantastic.
Looked fantastic.
He looked like he was in Louisville again.
Yes, he did.
It was amazing.
He pulled a Willis Reed.
And quiet as kept, got to give Baker Mayfield his props. They put up a overballing.
Hey, for some of you young ones, he pulled a Paul Pierce. Because y'all remember Paul Pierce.
Oh,
Lamar Jackson pulled a Paul Pierce.
He had a cramp, Tone.
It was beautiful. Lamar Jackson, it's Heisman Trophy season, and you were doing it, brother.
It was beautiful.
That was beautiful.
If I think one of the things we have to remember, Tony, if that game had been a normal game with a full stadium, even at an away game, when a guy as good as Lamar Jackson goes out of a game and the crowd can see him leave the bench area, you're thinking, oh man, is he hurt? Is he hurt? And then he came back out. It was almost like, Karate Kid, right. It was amazing for him to come out there, pick up that big 4th and 5, read, RP, and then hit streaking down the field. Now listen, we got to do something about Baltimore receivers and these drops. These drops are killing them.
He was killing them.
They can't be dropping these. And Lamar is pretty accurate. He's pretty accurate. He's getting the ball to where it needs to go. Guys just need to catch the ball and make plays.
Your name Ocean City.
Not allowed to use the nickname.
You're
not allowed to use the nickname.
It ain't no Hollywood. You Ocean City. Don't come to me until you get right.
There you go, brother. Yeah, man. Real excited today about that Ravens game. That was one worth staying up for and really enjoying it. Last drop.
Drop, home team.
And then, of course, you've got that strange safety at the end. There's a lot of people that lost some money on that, bro.
That line was 3.
The line was
and listen, some people lost some money that night.
It was a push.
It was a push. And then they pushed your money right on out.
Your money right on out. So if anybody was sitting there, they were already counting their money. Guess what?
Skip, this for you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, Skip. You never count your money while you're sitting at the table, right? But honestly, I thought that game, when I saw that game, I thought, wow, they're going to be talking about this game all week, until there's more product.
For you, Skip.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Skip.
Thank you, brother.
Skip. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey. Hey, I'm excited tonight. This is good, man.
This is going to be awesome, man.
This is good tonight, folks.
A little bit cooler than normal, but we got the heaters out here, man, so we're feeling pretty good.
We got the air flowing. We outside.
Uh-oh, Tony.
We got the air flowing and, it's good cigar.
Uh-oh. Zeke Elliott didn't practice today, Tony. That not good.
Oh, that not good.
That not good.
See,
was Dallas
I ain't
playing
messing with
San
Dallas,
Francisco?
man.
They're playing San Francisco now. Everybody gonna act like they're hurt. Okay, I see how that goes.
Guys, what is Dallas? Jesse's.
Terrible.
This has been a terrible year. They're a bunch of Jesse James.
I want everybody's check.
Everybody's check. They don't need to get paid.
Check. In baseball, if somebody does something they ain't supposed to do, the manager fines the whole bench.
Well,
They'll fine everybody.
Yeah.
Now it's only $5. It ain't a lot of money. Maybe $100.
Yeah. Well,
but I guess you can't do that in the NFL. Look, all of y'all are terrible. Everyone put $100.
Yeah.
They didn't earn their check. Listen, one of the things I like about talking sports or sitting or a little brown liquor or maybe even a nice beer and a mug here is sports is about life, man. We talk to our kids about how to handle certain things in life and we give them sports analogies. And then the Dallas Cowboys got to go and play like that. I always tell my son, I was like, son, if I played like the Dallas Cowboys, Daddy couldn't bring home no check. He's like, that's right.
Speaking of Dallas Cowboys, I put on the Tony Dorsett jersey tonight because that man right there running this man famous. Because he ran down America's run. This man here, Dorsett, had been in that league for 7-8 years before he got there.
Tony should
and
have
was the fastest man, and it was my idol.
Tony should have given him an up fake, but he didn't do it.
He was rolling.
He was running.
But Mr. Green came and got him.
Darrell Green, man.
Mr. Green came and got him, and we appreciate him coming here tonight. That's been years ago. That's been 37 years ago. Yeah.
Yes,
so
sir.
you know how that is, guys. We're just trying to make things happen here with this TD report. We're going to be all over. Once this COVID gets done, we're going to go all over the country, bring you the best and interview the best and bring them straight to you because that's what we're doing and having a good time. You see, we sitting here playing around. But that's Mr. Green right now calling in. So let me get this right. Hey, Mr. Green, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, NFL champion, Darrell Green of the Washington Redskins, number 28. How are you doing, Mr. Green?
Good evening, guys. I'm great. This is not my time of the year. I'm a Texas boy.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing the best I can do.
Oh, you okay?
Still, I'm not down with this. I'm a hot weather guy.
Excellent.
But it's all good. It's all good.
Family's doing well?
Everybody's excellent, man.
Excellent.
Thanks for asking.
That's great to hear. Hey, listen, we had a good time talking with you on the phone last night. And, here on the TV, we said we just chop it up and just speak real with people. Give us a quick rundown of kind of what you're doing right now. And I want to introduce everyone to a product that, with called Halidine. Let's talk about how to decrease transmission of this COVID so we can get some of these kids on the field.
Yeah, well, and again, I appreciate you as well. Actually, over a few days, we had just some great conversation. It's really neat to me to get to meet people that, I've been for 100 years. I've been around here for 75 years. So, it's like we've been here a long time, but we hadn't had a chance to really, we probably, in the three or four phone calls have covered 70 years, so it's a blessing for us. I'm grateful for what you guys have done and how you have stood, from childhood, and that's special to me. That's what I love about this region, that people do care, and we are in a society in a time where it seems like people don't care. But I'm just gonna believe that, man, there's more of a race. Us in terms of a right thinking people, and so I appreciate you guys. So, I got involved with this, the idea of the battle against COVID, like everybody else has been, and I understand in simple terms. I'm not a doctor, so make that note tonight. I'm not a doctor. I have 3 honorary doctorates for humane letters, but I don't know if that fits here. But we talked about this product that is based on the idea around the COVID virus. And so if you'd like me to, I'll share that.
Please do.
Right now. Yeah, so everybody is very clear and pretty much been on the rock if you don't understand the why and the protocol that we're executing on, and meaning, hey, the 3 Ds of this COVID virus that kills people, the 3 strategies is that we try to stay away from one another. We distance, the first D. We try to stay back, where his sneeze can't reach my sneeze, and they talked about a radius of how far it goes. I remember on TV looking at that particle and how it flies from here to there, and we understood that, to stay away. Just D1. The second D was to try to pay attention to, if you have to get close, try to manage the duration. If you're going to be in that store, in that barbershop, in that whatever that place is, in that house, try to pay attention to the duration of time, so that you can pay attention to the load, the viral load. So the more people come in and breathing and coughing and whatever, and close, load gets low, it gets heavier and heavier, and the potential for a particle to reach your nasal pharynx, as it's called, or your oral pharynx, your mouth and nose, becomes more and more greater. And so if you can't manage the fact that I just can't stay away from these people because it's just too tight to stay in here so long. Let me run outside this grocery store and come back in. Let me get out of this barber shop quickly, because the viral load is growing. And this is elementary. We just use our simple mind and think about this. This is what doctors have taught me. The third D is, if you can't control the diverse places, the diversification of where people have come from. I told you guys, my mother-in-law, 83 years old, lives around the corner from us, and I know where she is. I know where I am, my wife is, I know where our kids are. So Thanksgiving, hey, we had the holiday, but we already know where we are. We didn't have a nephew or a brother or cousin that drove in from Carolina, drove in from the Outer Banks, drove in from Pennsylvania. We knew the diversification of where people are interacting in their interactions. So if you can't do that, if you're going to be in an environment where, man, I come over, man, they got their cousin coming, and their brother, his sister, she's flying in. I can't, I don't know, I'm not sure. So I can't control, and I don't know the diversification of where people are coming from. That's important. That's common sense. The fourth D is to disinfect. It's what you do with your hands when you touch that doorknob or the gas can, the gas tank, or the gas handle, the gas pump handle. You disinfect it. You get your hand sanitizer, and in 15 seconds, when you put that on there, it kills the particle, and you go on and you do your thing. this Halodyne, HALODIN.com, this Halodyne product does the same thing for your nostrils and your orals that the hand sanitizer does. When that particle, because you are near this person, floats into your nose, into your mouth, it's sitting there. It's domicile in there. Mm-hmm. And it's waiting to catch root in the tissues of your orals and your nasals. It's going to catch, and then it'll grow. It'll be a root, and then it'll grow in the tissues, and it'll work its way down to your lungs. So, but it's not going to do it right away. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a few days, some hours and days. So fortunately, you can take this, and you can sanitize and gargle and sanitize your orals. You can do that up to 6 times a day, every 4 hours.
Oh.
So when that thing comes into you, when you're in this environment, so for example, if I'm going to go out wherever, I'll get in the parking lot and boom, I'll sanitize my nose. I'll put it in my nose, suck it down. I feel I can taste it in my throat. Then I'll gargle. Then I'll go on and do my thing. I still wear my PPE. I still wear my mask. I still do that. A mask is not enough. And this gives you an added layer of protection. But as you football, you can't wear no mask in football. You can't, be in a movie or play a saxophone. There's certain areas you got to do this.
So, Mr. Green.
At the end of the day, yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Green, real quick. So, a person like me, I don't want to. I trust the people with the vaccine, but I like to verify. So I want them to, I want to see others with it. I'm not telling people not to take the vaccine. This right here, from what I'm getting, this right here could help us try to bring football back. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you. We don't have the right. We don't have the education. We're not the professionals to talk about the vaccine, to try to use our influence to say, take it or don't take it to anybody. That would not be right. Mm-hmm. I pray God that the vaccine works for everybody. I would say we can put the vaccine to the side. I'm gonna be using this stuff anyway because this is gonna work for me through the winter for flus. Remember, any kind of negative viral particle that gets in my nostrils, this stuff will take care of. So anything, flus, colds, whatever I'm dealing with, so we can put that aside. I prayed for the vaccine to be well, and people will make their decision about that. We obviously know historically, African Americans. We had the Henrietta Lacks situation. That's right out of Baltimore. We all obviously know about what took place with the Tuskegee Airmen. I don't think this is that. I know there's a lot of distrust in this nation and in this world among people. There's a split in this nation, but we're going to have to be wise, and people have to make good, sound decisions. Because one thing about it is, whatever happens, and as a matter of fact, just to digress, when I was talking to a number of the NFL teams, and they have an extraordinary protocol focused on taking tests each day, telling you if you have it or not. Mm-hmm. And they, the Rams said, I said, but you're only as safe as the team, as the least team out there, as the
correct.
You're only as safe. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You're doing good, but the problem is you got to play them. So yeah, if you can just play in a squad all day, you good. You good. But unfortunately, you can't do that. So I just digress to say that. But the thing is, this Halodyne is going to be great for you. My daughter, I've got 12 and 13 grandkids on the way. The 13th on the way.
All right, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir. So all the way to 3 years old. And our 3-year-old with a swab, we gargle. The nasal that just goes down and down there. I can taste it in my throat. And we're very confident. The data is there, the research is there, and it works. We've been on it. My wife go get her nails done and we don't go anywhere without doing it. And when we come home, we do it again. And I will say this, and they ask me, because I do a lot of media, well, Darrell, what do you say to people that think this virus is a hoax or whatever. I said, well, here's what I would say to them. This is something we really need bad in our nation. Same thing I said when they asked about changing the Redskins' name. I said, if we can get to a place, we can find ourselves back to a place where human beings are first and the feelings of people become first. Mm-hmm. So when I come to your house with one of my little grandbabies, and she's 2, and she's just scared to death of your little chihuahua. And that little dog, it ain't gonna hurt nobody, and y'all know it. But my little baby just can't get comfortable. We're gonna be here about 45 minutes. You know, why don't you tell your son to put that dog up in the room? Just because you love us, you care about us. You care about my little grandbaby. You want us to hang, and that ain't gonna kill your little dog. Put his behind up in that room, and that'll say, man, Darrell, we respect you and your grandbaby, and we want to be around you and hang out with you. So I would say to people, you know, wear your mask. Do the things that, even if you don't agree with it, why don't we come back to saying, and that's what I told, why I applauded Dan Snyder. I said, look, they said, well, you know, he only did, I don't care why he did it. Native Americans were offended. 1,000, 1,000,000, it doesn't matter. If we can come back to a world where we do again, see, I'm born in 1960 and I'm an old Texas boy. We can go again to where we care about people. You matter to me. I'm wearing my mask because you matter to me. I'm putting my chihuahua up in the bed. You matter to me. I'm going to take this product because you matter to me. And it means something. And so I'm hoping that we will be able to, should I say, because you guys have a history, a long history of bringing the community together around sports, primarily football, and people really appreciate that. Mamas, daddies, children, they really appreciate that. And we, you know, everybody would love to have the ability back in the swing of things, but we have to be responsible for one another, for one another's health and safety, and it has to be more important than even money. And so I think this will be a great strategy. And this is what I told the Washington football team. I said, look, they can come in at 8 a.m. As soon as everybody walk in the door, boom, holler down, holler down, holler down. Everybody do it again at lunchtime. Then they go out to practice. Everybody come in, shower, do it again on the mama. 3 times every 4 hours. In the morning, we all hit it. Lunchtime, we hit it, then we go to practice. We come in, we hit it. Even in the game, do it before the game, do it at halftime, do it after the game before you get with your wife and your family and get in the car and go home. It's just a simple strategy. It's the same thing you do with your hands.
That's right.
You do every time you grab the door, you say, hey, give me some of that. Man.
That's right.
So, and it works, and it's safe, and it works. And there are doctors out there and people out there. Do your homework. Do your homework. And we will have on our, hopefully, if we kick that off and have our Zoom call, I'm going to have Dr. Samuel Kojo Makahini, who graduated University of Virginia, graduated first in the medical school over at Commonwealth in Virginia.
Wow. Oh, VCU, okay.
Led the COVID team in the Connecticut hospital up there. Said when a young woman died in his arms, one of the youngest people. This is a guy that's in the operating room up to 40 operations in a given day. Boom, he caught it. He said, man, my face, I'd go home, my face would be sore. I wash my face so much. I wash my hands, take showers at work. And he said, I caught it. He said, man, my wife caught it. He said, my 3, 6, and 8-year-old caught it. And he said, man, and he said, now these are smart people. these are chemists, doctors, all the people that created it were doctors and chemists. We have a running joke. So if you're going to be on this team, you have to be a doctor, chemist, or Pro Football Hall of Famer. So that's our running joke.
That's right.
But the reality is that, you know, and he's going to be on. I just talked with him. If we do our Zoom, we're going to have him on, and you can go at him. And again, he had it. Wife, 3, 8, 6, 6, and 8 had it. This guy have traveled, got on planes, took his family to different cities, done things after he caught it, because he believes and the man ain't stupid. And so I'm not a doctor, but I'm like, hey, I can look at this man who I trust, went to college with my son, a little bit older than my son, grew up in Ghana, and he's one about just a great kid. He calls me Pops because he never had a father, and I'm kind of like his dad, And so, that's how I got involved. And like I said, we don't go anywhere, my wife and I, without it. So it may be a great strategy. I say may because people may say, I don't. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But it may be a way to reactivate, to relaunch a strategy for a greater level of safety for mama in the stands, for the kids and the coaches, put together a strategy to relaunch the game. It may be a way to make it happen. And if it's not, then, by the grace of God, something else will come about. But that's what I'm talking about, and I think that it makes a lot of
So,
sense.
Mr. Green, tell us what day is the Zoom call, and then we will schedule it. What day did you have down for the Zoom call?
Well, we want to look at about 7 o'clock on Tuesday, which is next week on the 22nd, I believe.
That's the 22nd.
Yes, sir.
Tuesday 22nd, and Dr. Kojo will be on, I'll be on, and hopefully, you'll have some good decision-making people who, they don't have to have an open mind to hear and have their notes and their notepads and have questions, and we see if we get there. And if we don't get there, we don't get there. But it's not, it's one of the things that, I'm really concerned about is, can we get back to human decency, common human decency?
Right.
Can we disagree? Can we care for one another? Can we love one another? That's been my heartbeat. They know me as Darrell Green, 20 years with the league, with the team, and Hall of Fame, and the greatest 100, fastest man, chase down Dorset. But man, I'm a daddy. I'm a Christian, love Jesus. I'm a grandpa. I'm an elder leader in my church. I'm a community leader, and nobody owes me nothing. You don't have to celebrate me. The Lord is my shepherd, And so this is something that I got involved in. I pray that it works for this group, but no, don't have to be mad if it don't, guys. I'm just grateful for the opportunity, and I thank you guys. And you guys, truth be told, you're leaders in the community. Everybody, you're leading, and people are leading in different ways. Whether you're a school academic, you're a pastor, you're a coach, you're an organizer, whatever you are. I have a message that I do in the corporate world called "Leadership is always in play." I used to go upstairs when I was older. For some of the Redskin fans out there from back in the day, watching football team now. Years ago they got a coach here called Norv Turner. Norv Turner was a former Dallas Cowboy coach. And I'll never forget, I was in the locker room. I had been 11 years with Joe Gibbs and another year with Pettibone, so 12. At least he was in my 13th season out of 20. Somewhere around that. And he went about 7 or 8 years after that because Mr. Cook got sick. Then, he died, and it just went on and on and on, and he just kind of slid under the fence because nobody was manning the house, and he got about 7 or 8 years in there, and he only made maybe 1 or 2 playoff games. But I never forget, I would go, they would say to me, the kids, the players, I call them kids, but, oh man, D. Green, go up there and ask Norv, can we go out in shorts and shoulder pads today? And I'd go up there, hey, coach, man, the guys want to go in shorts today. And he said, no, Darrell, we're going full go, boom, boom, boom. And I'd turn around, head downstairs, and I wouldn't say nothing until I was almost dressed. And I grabbed my helmet and my shoulder pads on my way out the door. And, hey, guys, with a smile on my face, not, oh, man, that sucker said. No. I came up. Leadership was in play for y'all going up. Leadership is in play for him coming down. And I came down with a right attitude and said, hey, guys, we're going full go. I want shorts and shoulder pads, too. But that's not my responsibility. Was to operate in leadership going up or going from for white people and leadership, and from black people, leadership, my wife, my kids, leadership is no time out for leadership. You don't put your stuff down. Like they say, man, don't make me put my religion down. Don't let me be like the Flintstone when he put that dog outside. We don't do that. Guys, you guys are leaders, and these coaches are leaders, and their voices mean something. So if you do this, let's come together and use wisdom and strategy and be together so we can all stand together if it happens and all believe and say, all right, guys, here's our strategy. We don't think that we know everything, that we're perfect, but guys, we're doing it out of a sincere heart. The Bible says the goal of our instruction is love from a pure heart, a sincere faith, and a clean conscience. We go out, man, in a way trying to do something that makes sense, that's right, and we agree to it, and where leaders are going in and going out the same way. And maybe we can make something happen. Maybe these kids can get back out there. Maybe mama and daddy can get out there. Maybe these kids continue to move forward in their dreams. And maybe this is the way, maybe it's not. But I believe in it. You get the research is there. If you go to Halodine.com, HALODIN.com, all this data for days. There's JAMA. They've been in JAMA. That's the magazine, the Journal of Medicine. That they can read different things that have been written about this stuff. And again, I'm not a doctor, but those who understand, they'll be able to find it and see it. And again, last thing I'll say is that the base of the medicine, and it's very low medicine, very low at the medicine side. So it's no kind of toxicity or anything. That's definitely below any kind of toxicity. But it's been around about 50 years. Guys who've been around in whirlpools and stuff, they've used the stuff to kill. Staph is a big deal in football. Staph,
yes, it is.
Infections and stuff. And that's some heavy stuff. But this is not as heavy, but it comes out of the baseline of this heavy stuff being reformulated and brought down to a low over the counter level drug that is FDA registered and patent, and it makes sense and it works. So hopefully we can make something happen. So everybody, put your hand up if you're gonna be with us next week on the Zoom call.
Okay.
And you'll see my mug. So we'll be out. We can see you, and we'll have a good conversation and dialogue. And you guys, that's up to you guys to figure out how that goes. I know I'm not a technical guy, but that's all I've been doing every day. But I've got people helping me most of the time. But I know you guys can make that happen. But so everybody, let us know if you're going to join us for the Zoom call and have some good questions. Be respectful, but have be critical. Don't mean evil. You can be critical. You can be, whatever you want to be, but just do everything in order and respect, or stay at home, as they say.
Mr. Green, Kojo, Amal Kahini going to be on the call as well?
Yes, sir. Yes,
He
sir.
will? Okay, great.
Okay.
So there'll be a technical expert there on the call, just discussing it. Is this product available? Is this something that we can buy, or?
Right now, you can hang up right now and buy it at Halodine, HALODIN.com.
Okay.
You can get it in a swab. You can get it in a goggle. You can get it in that nasal drip that I use. That's the one I use. We do for our babies. We do the swab. We say, hey, breathe in. Suck it in.
Yeah, to get it in. Yeah, right.
3 grandbaby girls in Orlando. One of them is 5 and in school. They go to school down there, man. And then we got 4 girls here, 6 and below, and then I got other grandkids who in Atlanta. Yeah, we get from 3 years old. And ask that y'all ask that question to Dr.
Okay.
Kojo. Remember his 3-year-old and his wife. So ask him that. Ask him why he believes. Ask him. Write your questions down. Ask him good questions. Ask him sound questions that everybody can learn from. And again, he had it. He had the disease. The virus. His wife had it. And I'll tell you a funny story. He may tell you this. He went to Columbus, Ohio. I don't know, a month and a half ago. He was on vacation for 2 weeks. So I was like, man, where you going to Columbus, to Ohio in the COVID for a vacation. He said, no, Pops, I'm not going for vacation. I'm on vacation. But I'm going to work at a hospital where the doctor quit because he was, concerned for the COVID. And he said, I got to go and make this money because, I need the money because I support my mom and my wife's family as well. But he said, more importantly, dude, I got our product. So he signed a 2-week, 24 hours on, no days off, no hours off, no minutes off. Fortunately, he could come home. He said it worked out where he would maybe come home at 7 or 8 in the evening to the hotel where his wife and kids were in the swimming pool like a regular summer having fun. And he said, and they had their stuff. And he said he fortunately, when he would get home, he wouldn't get called back that night. So that was a blessing for him. But he really had signed an agreement to never be off for 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
24/7, 24/7. And so fortunately they didn't kill him. But he, and so as I hear all these anecdotal comments about him from him, I'm like, man, this man ain't crazy. This man is a chemist. This man is a doctor. He's smart and he understands it. And sometimes that may not be enough for people, but for little old peanut head me, it's enough for me.
Mr. Green, let me. I want to make sure that we're clear. Mr. Charles Eggleston, one of our mutual friends, he called you up during the Virginia Tech game, and I just wanted to talk trash to you because I'm a big Dorsett fan, and you can't see me. I got my Dorsett jersey on. So as you got into talking about this, I wanted to bring you on because me, selfishly, I want this for our kids so we can get back out on the football field. I think that this may be for people who are like me who trust the vaccine, but I don't know if they want to take it in the first 6, 7, 8 months, but they want to get back out there. So when we were talking, I was thinking that this something that we could, try to use so that we can get football back here, which is supposed to start around March, which gives us, we're another 3 months out right now. And if we can get these people on the Zoom call to get people to try it, for the ones who don't want to take the vaccine.
To the leagues, get them to the leagues, the league administrators, people
to
like
the
ADs,
that. Yeah, ADs, So, this was so that guys are clear that you have been doing this, and I had no. And it was the good Lord that brought us together that night to speak on this, because this benefits everything, all the players here that need the looks for college, and the guys who need the reps for high school who've been sitting around and not being able to do in the DMV. So this was my idea to bring you on here because you know about my show. But I am going to go after these administrators and coaches and try to get people Zoom call, because I believe it. And another thing is when I looked at it, we reviewed it. I had a couple of friends from Hopkins who loved it. So all the stuff that you preaching now, you may not be a doctor, but you've been hanging around them a whole lot because you are kicking the knowledge here tonight, and it's important. I mean, I have a lot. Lisa Stafford, Roland Knight. These would be your biggest fans.
This is our biggest viewership.
Dallas, Washington, right? Because we and that's all of us who are involved, and I just wanted to make sure that everyone is clear about that. That everyone is very clear that this was my idea to bring Mr. Green on tonight. We're just not going to talk football. We're going to talk about life and trying to help most of you guys who are my age now, who got grandkids and kids, and get everybody kind of back to semi-normal. And this is my way of doing it.
Let me add real quickly, and we can talk football. I'm not so most people, if you know me, was in the NFL 20 years with one team. God told me to stay here. If you go way back, when I was on my 4th, 5th year, the Denver Broncos was trying to get me in. And I was broke. I called Mama. I said, Mama, I can't pay your house. No, I'm broke. I can't. And so we were broke. We had no money all season. And I prayed. I came out of the basement. I told my wife, I said, God told me, don't go nowhere. Don't do nothing. Now, in the meantime, the Redskins, I'm done. They saying, you out of here. We don't want you here. Bobby Bethard, who's my friend, he said, dude, you're done. So, and this is a true story. So, I told the agent, say, look, man, I really apologize. I'm done. Don't talk to no teams. They don't want me. I'm not going nowhere. Then I'll get a job. I can work. And so I ended up being here, 15, 16 more seasons.
Right.
But I will say this, that, and think about it. If you take the moment and think in your little brain up there, you realize you don't remember no conversation with me. Remember when Reggie White went to Green Bay and all this? I was on my way to the Hall of Fame too, but God told me not to do it. And so all those years, when I stood on the picket line like everybody else did, you never heard me with another team. Think about it. And so anyway, God in his mercy had me here, and it wasn't just for football. It was greater than that. And I tried to live my life in such a way that brings glory to God. And my bills, and I'm on the board, and I'm part of this company that I got in through Kojo. But you're not doing me no favors. This is all of us trying to reason together and make sense. And I will encourage you, ask Dr. Kojo. It was a question I said, asked him, said, Mr. Kojo, let's say you didn't have any PPE. Would you still go into that operating room? Just ask him all kind of personal questions, and then ask him, real legit, clinical questions. Let's get it out of him so that you can help your fellow man as well as yourself gain a level of comfort or not. So that you can say, hey man, so I can stand up when I say to my child or whoever, hey guys, this is what we believe and we're gonna go for it. Or you know what, Darrell, we're not gonna do it. Just like you said about the vaccines. Some people for different reasons I say yes. Negative, but got all the information they needed to make a good, sound, educated decision that they can sleep at night. I can sleep at night about the decisions I've made. I never cheated on my wife. I never drank and acted a fool. I can, whether you like me or celebrated me. Oh, and y'all remember that story I told y'all the other night about Warner Wolf?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that. Warner Wolf, the great legend from D.C. when y'all were kids, says to me he apologized for supposedly dogging me out in his media position, and he's 80-some years old. We just talked about that the other night. Man, you didn't hurt. That's fine to have an opinion on me. That's okay. I'm fine, man. I'm greater God than that. And so I just want people to feel free, but tell everybody to come in to that Zoom call, and let's have a town hall conversation around this and see if we get some wisdom out of it. This guy, I believe in this guy. He's sharp, and let's go for it. And you guys set the platform. Y'all are the platform. And tell everybody, to come and be involved in this. And let's try to do it next week. And so if you want to talk football, that's not, I'm not the big football guy, but I can talk a little bit of it. I'm 5'8", so everybody can know I'm 5'8" and 3/4 in my height. I got drafted at 173 pounds.
Amazing.
For the kickoff that Monday night game in 1983. I went to college as a walk-on after one season of varsity football, one season of JV, 11th grade JV, 11th grade varsity. And I made the varsity, then I walked on to an NAIA school called Texas A&I.
Texas Kingsville,
So when our parents got divorced, and again, I told y'all, I grew up in the same projects that George Floyd grew up in. I didn't know him. He's way younger, but I lived in those same projects when our parents got divorced. So anyway, I walked on, and I end up making the varsity my senior year, and I go to A&I, when I got divorced, my mom, we moved, and I met two human beings, two kids, Clem Greenwood and Cornell Green. And if you look at my yearbook, I'm in the middle of these two guys. I told this story at the Hall of Fame. And when I went to college, Cornell went to college there too. He didn't play football, but he ended up going there. It's about 5 hours from where we lived. And Cornell promised me a ride home with another kid from another school, and they left me, and I was saying a lot of bad words until Monday. Y'all heard about that car wreck? Cornell was dead, that car wreck.
Oh, no.
And so I was jacked. I dropped out of college. The last game, which I started, and I went home for a year and a half. I went to community college. I came back. 3 years later, I was a first-round draft pick. That school in my last 2 years went up to Division II, and I did successful there. And when I got drafted, the next weekend, the call came that Clem Greenwood, my best friend in the world from 6th grade as well, hung himself. So I spent my rookie year and my freshman suffering. Obviously, I dropped out of college when Cornell did it because I was supposed to be at that card. I was young and I was really messed up. When Clem did it, and his brother did it the week after, and I was here in Reston, Virginia, when I got the call about his brother. I was in the call about him. And so I struggled with those 2 years, but my life, I know that God, and I've always, been able to keep I became a Christian in college, so in my mind, I had a different mindset, a different understanding. Broken home, daddy alcoholic, brother died of drug overdose, including myself. But I got saved, and I got changed, I got transformed. And so I'm always interested in the betterment of human beings, not just physically, always in your health, but more spiritually, more than anything. I am concerned about. And so, it's my privilege and my honor to be before your audience talking, and I'm going to always talk about who I am in the Lord Jesus Christ. And I can talk a little bit about football. So you take it from there. I'll follow you with that. Matter of fact, I just got a text from Michael Urban's guy. We just did a like what you guys have, a podcast last week. I never had anything football in my house until I retired. I have a mural where I'm intercepting the ball in front of him. And about 4 years ago, he came here to speak. I brought him in to speak with me at a church. A little basket of goodies in the basement, in the bedroom where he's at. And I came down the stairs and I saw that mirror. Like, oh my gracious, God dog it. So I go, when I get him from the airport, I bring him down. I said, look, man, let me just. Come over here. Let me show you something. And he fell out. Man, I said, man, look, you made it. But anyway, they just want me to do something. He got some kind of honor. But, yeah, I've had a great career, man. Enjoyed it and played against a bunch of tough guys and big guys. And, a lot of them were big and strong. And hey, you know what? Some of them had to chop them down. Yeah. But, to you, what else we gonna do? And I hope everybody sign up and tell your friends to get ready for that Zoom. But you want to talk about anything else?
I got one for you, Mr. Green. I got one for you. About in 2006, I used to audit a company that was in Chicago. So I had to go to Chicago 4 times that year, and every time I would get there, they would say, "You're that DC, right?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Man, we hate Darrell Green." I said, "See." I was wondering what they was mad at return. I said, "Oh, y'all still mad about that?" I said, "Mr. Green, they still mad in Chicago about that." I might have to find the guy that I was auditing and send it to him on YouTube and send him the play. That was
Mr. Green, I believe, was Walter Payton's last game, correct?
It was.
It was his last game. And
a guy named Barry Wilburn, cornerback opposite me, was the one that ran him out of bounds. Game over.
Yep, shoved him out.
Yep, sure was.
And on that punt return, when you cut back, said, looks like it might be over. And then you said, it is over.
Well, I tell you my Walter Payton story. My wife and I were young, and we went to the Pro Bowl, and I was a little kid. I didn't know nobody. And Walter Payton, I don't know why to this very day, he said, "Hey, Green, come on, man, get your wife, man. Y'all going to dinner with me and my wife."
That's nice.
I'm looking at my wife like, what? I didn't know the guy. I didn't even know him. And this was before the play you're talking about. But I don't know Walter Payton. I can't say I know him that well, but I know the one experience that I had with that man, unprovoked. He just treated us like he cared about us. I don't know why. I still don't know why today, but he paid for our dinner, took us to dinner. And he played, obviously, Mike Singletary was my childhood childhood friend. My parents knew each other from Houston, and but no, it was a lot of excitement, man. A lot of fun stories. I wasn't a big football guy. Being born in football wasn't like this, so it was more outdoors playing, hopscotch, 1, 2, 3, fun. But football came in later for me, as I said, JB in 11th grade. Just to be able to go out there and play, and I wanted to get his autograph on that Monday, main game, opening game. They beat the Cowboys for the championship to go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, and then here they draft me at the last pick of the draft in the first round. And then I'm thinking, because the guy told me on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, he said, "Look, you're going to match up against Drew Pearson." And I'm like, oh my gracious, I want to get Drew's autograph. I'm saying this to myself, of course. But by the time Friday came, I hated Drew Pearson. They don't do it like that anymore. The Redskins and the Washington football team and the fans, it ain't no. They lying if they tell you Redskins, Cowboys, that kind of thing. It don't exist anymore. Maybe it will come back. But dude, in 3 days, they had me hating Drew Pearson when I'm saying, how am I going to get his autograph? Do you know that this very day, I never got his autograph, never even spoke to him. And I wish I could speak to him now. But and the other thing is they should have put me on Tony Hill and then put Bernardine on Drew Pearson.
Yes, indeed.
But that's another funny story. And when Harold Carmichael, 6'8", 1 foot taller than me,
Megatron,
ran a curl on me. He ran a curl. He came up to me. I stopped. He put his hand on my head, and he spent. He stuck him right in the chest. I'm right behind him. I got my face in the plant of his back and trying to get him down. I never will forget that, man. That man was a giant. But it was just great, man, to compete with all these different guys, tough guys. Michael Irvin, he came out, he was tough. Jerry Rice was incredible. It was a fun
and
thing.
then I got you. I'll get you on in 2 minutes.
Yep.
I just didn't have this whole philosophy.
Hang on.
Like everybody else, or the idea like most people where I just wanted to be famous and rich. That's part of my agenda. But I've always really did enjoy and appreciate the competition. So back to you, sir.
Yeah, well, Mr. Green.
Mr. Green, we really appreciate you coming on, and can we have you on again sometime?
Absolutely. We're going to be on Wednesday on that Zoom.
We're going to be on the Zoom call on Tuesday. It's on Tuesday.
It's the 23rd?
Tuesday, yeah.
22nd. 22nd. And Tuesday the 22nd. And we'll talk between then. But Mr. Green, thank you so much. Listen, from all my Washington football fans, Alicia Stafford, the Tommy Johnson, the Roland Knight, they appreciate it, and they shared it, and they love you, man. And I just want to leave you with something. You were born in Texas, 1960. So was the world champion Dallas Cowboys.
Now, Tony, we're not gonna bring all that Cowboy stuff on the show now.
Yeah. Now, matter of fact, just before we jump, the big question that everybody wants to know: are the Cowboys still in the NFL?
Oh, and there it is.
Are they still a franchise?
Ladies and gentlemen, NFL Hall of Famer, NFL legend, Mr. Darrell Green. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Darrell.
Appreciate you, baby. Tell your people to hit me up on my Twitter or something, Darrell Green 28 or something like that.
Darrell Green 28 at yes on Twitter. We know.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate
All
you.
right.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
That was great. Listen, everybody, getting Darrell Green to come on the show and to talk about something important, not just football, because football is important, but life is more important. So we definitely thank Mr. Green on that. Honestly, our next guest said, man, he grew up here in the D.C. area. He said, man, I don't want to have to come on after Darrell Green. But I said, you know what? You're a baseball player. You're a two-hole hitter. I got you on the phone here. This is Dave. Say hi to everybody, Kev.
Hey, Dave, can you hear me, buddy?
We got you now.
Awesome, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, this young man here, 3-time Washington Post All-Met selection at St. John's. He was the Gatorade, USA Today, Topps Baseball Card, and the Maryland Baseball Coaches Association Player of the Year in 1992. Little college baseball at Old Dominion. 3-time All-American, 6th-round draft pick of your Los Angeles Dodgers. Hey, man, Kevin Gibbs, everybody. Give him a shout-out. Kev, I appreciate you coming on the show. And I know you're wondering why I'm having you on here, right? Because I got to bust your chops a little bit.
Go for it, baby.
If I had known your resume was this good, Kevin, I would have been nicer to you in high school, man.
Well, hey, you would have been the only senior that was nice to me, man.
Oh, no, hey, wait a minute. You were on the basketball team. You were a bigger guy than me, man. You played for a legendary coach. And your list of legendary coaches, you played for Joe Gallagher at St. John's. And
Wow.
in the major leagues, you
Legend.
played for Tommy Lasorda. You played for Mike Scioscia. And Ron Renicky was your manager. And at one point, Davey Johnson was your manager. That's amazing.
Those are Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I was really fortunate in my career. It's funny. So I got to high school, and Joe was our coach at St. John's, and he was, I'd been reading about him on the Washington Post for years. Reading the stories about St. John's basketball, and then I got to college, and my college coach Pat McMahon, he after he left Old Dominion, he went to the university. Or he went to Mississippi State, where he took them to the College World Series. And then he went to the University of Florida, and he took those guys to actually the final game of the College World Series. And then in professional baseball, I got to play for Rags and Soch, and Davey Johnson was unbelievable, and of course, Tommy Lasorda was amazing. I mean, maybe the greatest motivator I've ever been around. Just great guy, hilarious, had great stories. But the guy that I played for that people probably don't know his name, but he was as influential as anybody, was a guy named Ed Sheff. And Ed, his nickname in college baseball was Lord of the Rings. He won, I think, 21 or 22 national titles at Lewis and Clark State NAIA.
Okay.
And, you talk about a guy that was, he was as respected as anybody so I was super fortunate in my career to be around.
I'm looking at your resume here as your honoraria. Even Big Tony is on here. He's looking at it. He's like, my goodness.
Yeah, that's a hell of a resume.
Now you played on the Olympic team, 1994. Men's national team.
I did. And listen. Well, that team was amazing. We sent. I think on that team we had 20. It was a 22-man roster, 23-man roster. It's like 20 guys in the big leagues off that team, and I think on that team we had 7 of the first 15 picks.
Wow.
In the 1995 and 1996 draft. Yeah, it was unbelievable. My roommate was R.A. Dickey, who won the Cy Young Award with the Blue Jays.
The knuckleballer, right?
Yeah. Well, the story, right? He was the first Rangers, and he was a hard-throwing, right-handed pitcher out of the University of Tennessee. And the team doctor for the Rangers saw a picture on the cover of Baseball America of the pitching staff, and he noticed the way R.A.'s arm was hanging it was just different. So they did a pretty extensive review, MRI and all that stuff, and they found that he was born without one of the ligaments that you're supposed to have in your elbow.
Oh.
And so he hadn't signed yet. So his bonus went down. Maybe his bonus was going to be like $1 million. I think it maybe would end up being $200,000. and he kind of had to reinvent himself as a pitcher over time because he lost his velocity. And so he started out like as this really hard-throwing right-handed pitcher. You know, he's 94, 95, 96, and ended up as knuckleball.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. You know, Kevin, you know, your career in baseball, it's obviously impressive. Big Tony's sitting here reading it. I don't know if you're watching along the show. He's got his cigar out. He's like, man, this is wild. You know, one of the things that I'm really excited about to read about you is that you are also an academic All-American. And we have a lot of people that listen to our show. That's extremely impressive. We have a lot of people that listen to the show that have sons and daughters that are either recruited athletes or they're trying to walk on somewhere. Just the fact that you could get it done in class as well as get it done on the diamond. I'm just being facetious here. You were a pretty fair high school basketball player too, in the old WMAC, which is now the WCAC. So you're playing up against the Gonzagas, the DeMathas of the world, and you know St. John's isn't actually on the top, not the top dog, but you know you got to get down there in the trenches and go after those big teams. When you got to college and you started, you know, determining what you wanted to do in your career, and I'll just let everyone know, you know, Kevin is the co-founder of Merida Capital Partners. It's one of the leading private equity funds in the country in the cannabis industry with almost $200 million in assets under management. I'm in high finance. That's doggone impressive to be the co-founder of a private equity fund, raising the funds, you know, doing the program and project management to get that type of endeavor off the ground. What did you draw from, you know, your dad's a coach. Your dad was a baseball coach, one of the best baseball coaches ever, and pretty darn good dad too, right?
The best. Yeah.
Just in general, how did that translate from college baseball to pro baseball to your career now? Just to help the people that have got, like someone like myself, you know my son, you've met Harrison. He's 15. Mm-hmm. You know, we're trying to get him to have that academic mind and that athletic mindset. And then obviously when baseball or whatever is over, you go to that business mindset and, you know, raising a family.
You know, that's a great question. And I'll tell you something. I think first of all, I've been really fortunate in life just in general. You know, my partner, Mitch Brookwitz, super smart guy, you know, really hardworking guy. And, you know, it was one of those situations where I was fortunate enough to kind of be in the right spot at the right time to partner with Mitch on, you know, on Merida, and we've been blessed. You know, we've raised. We're on our third fund right now, and we also have a SPAC that we raised $120 million in the SPAC, and we've probably deployed another kind of $100 million, you know, through kind of like direct investments where we've done, you know, capital raises in different states for different businesses. So surrounding yourself with smart and successful people who are hard workers has really been kind of a common theme, you know, in my life. When I was in high school, I mean, we had so many guys, you know, at St. John's that were, you know, phenomenal athletes, and they were hard workers. You know, you think about guys like, you know, like Chris Harrison comes to mind right away.
Chris Harrison's got the construction business.
Like, you know, a guy like Jay Williams, who just, you know, they were amazing. They're amazing players, but they all worked. You know, he went to practice with those guys, and they got after it. Yeah, Dave Cox was like that, and Warren Williams was like that, Mike Brown was like that. So, you know, when you're around, you know, hardworking guys who are also talented, you know, you can do some great things. But the one thing I try to impress upon the players at St. John's is that, you know, sports ends unfortunately for all of us. And right now in high school and college is, you know, you're trying to create some great experiences, you're trying to create great relationships, you're learning how to compete, which is, I mean, you know, you and Tony are obviously super successful guys, so you know you get out into the real world and, you know, you got to be ready to bring it every single day because there's someone else out there that's going to do it. And so I think that athletic mentality is really beneficial. Well, it has been really beneficial to me because, you know, you learn to compete and you also learn that, boy, there's just a lot of failure in athletics and there's a lot of failure in business. And every day you're working hard to succeed, but a lot of times it doesn't happen. You know, it's funny, we talk about all the time when you watch a movie of a successful person's life, you typically see like, a few minutes of hardship, and then all of a sudden, the rest of the movie is like this big success, that big success, the big house, the big car, the fancy clothes. And my experience anyway has been, most of the time it's hard work, and it's not pretty. And the guys who are willing to kind of get up every single day and grind through it are the ones that are most successful. And then, after a lot of adversity, after a lot of failure, sometimes you're fortunate to wake up and you've had some pretty big successes along the way also. So, but I think athletics is kind of the backbone of that, right? It's like being able to consistently, overcome adversity, and understanding that the academics that you're, working towards every day in high school and college are going to be the backbone of, the success that you have in the business world as you leave sports.
The thing is about you, Kevin, that I've always appreciated is just like you said, just the hard work that you've done. And sport like baseball, to be very good in baseball, this as learning from your dad, and it's an incremental sport. You can't just become good or great at something overnight in baseball. There's no such thing as an overnight success. So you spent years and years as a youngster, as a schoolboy, developing your swing, developing your reflexes, learning tendencies, learning the game, and learning the angles. And I think that's what helped make you successful, besides the fact that you're super fast, you're extremely fast, and a great athlete. But you had to put the work in, right? So baseball looks just watching a little kid like my son when he was a young guy, as far as on the travel baseball circuit. And your son, your older boy, is going to VCU, right?
That's correct. I couldn't be prouder of him.
Just signed, right?
He did, November 11th.
That's amazing.
That's good. Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, that's
congratulations.
Great. Oh, he's got kids. So that was Casey, right?
That was Casey. That's correct.
Casey's going to VCU. Connor is still at St. John's, right?
Yeah, Colin's
Colin,
my
excuse
son.
me.
He's a freshman at St. John's. That's right. Yep.
Colin's a freshman at SJC, playing for Uncle Mark.
Well, one day we'll be, hopefully.
Hopefully.
not yet.
Yeah, not just yet. And one of the big things that seeing you down at the field at St. John's, that travel games that we set up with PG Select and your Diamond Skills kids, it was great to see my son out there on the field with your boy. Of course, he hits the ball right to your son and gets thrown out at first base. I see your son play. Your son played my son.
Had a great team, though, man.
What's
really
that?
Did.
Well, you got one of those players. Obviously, since he's a minor child, we won't mention his name, but I think you know who we're talking about. But you got one of.
Oh yeah, he's a heck of a ball player. And I will tell you something. It's great. Just a great kid and a great family. And I think,
absolutely.
Baseball is one of those sports, Dave, is that I feel like it's really hard to succeed in baseball unless you have, a support system, whether it's like, your dad or your uncle or your mom. Like, someone's got to kind of be there for you and help kind of push you along, because there's so much failure in baseball, and it's not as fast a pace, lacrosse or basketball or football. And so I think it's a unique animal where you really need to have, a great support system to help you kind of deal with the failure and, kind of keep you coming back for more, because baseball loses a lot of kids at that, kind of
the crucial age. Ages,
go to the big field, because there's it's tough. So, but yeah, just great kid, great family, and really proud that they're part of the St. John's program.
Oh yeah, one of the things about about the WCAC in general is I call it the baseball boom. We're seeing a lot more teams in that league kind of pull up and become better and better, and St. John's just continues to move the bar. DeMatha's right there. Why do schools in the WCAC, why are we succeeding in baseball? What do you think has happened to make baseball grow in that league?
Well, I think, look, when I think back when I was playing in the WCAC, three guys drafted. I was drafted, a guy named Bobby St. Pierre was drafted from DeMatha, and a guy named Dan Reed was drafted out of Gonzaga, and Dan went on. I was Player of the Year in the Colonial Athletic Association in 1994, and Dan was the six-pack, Pac-10 Pitcher of the Year
Nice.
in 1994. And Mike Zenifredo, who had been Apollo 6, Mike got to the major leagues, pitched 6-7 years in the big leagues, had a great career. But I think really kind of what's happened is that, and I think this is partially true in basketball as well. It's like a nuclear arms race in terms of the recruiting and the money that's kind of poured into the. That I think you had maybe a little bit stronger athletic department, kind of at the public school level when I was in high school, versus now with as intense the recruiting. You're on ESPN, you're traveling all over the country, and so I think that private schools have in those more and more the best players, matriculating into the private schools. And I think, sports is much more of a business at the amateur level today than it was when I was coming up. You look at, you've been the perfect game, and parents are investing a lot of money these days.
They sure
in
are.
their kids, and it's like, back when I was playing, like you would never see any parents at practice. Because stand around and watch practice. There's just a lot more invested, I think, by the parents into the kids. And so I think they're willing to pay the tuition, although there, a lot of schools have, financial aid for kids. But I do think there's I think the talent level has just been more and more concentrated at the private school level in this area of the country than it was when I was coming up. So I think that's why I think all sports, although basketball has always been amazing, but I think you've seen football and baseball kind of definitely kick it up a few notches because of the kind of the concentration of really good athletes in the private school system.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've been a success virtually on every level, Kevin. You've done the high school thing. You did college ball, pro baseball, Major League Baseball, and then now in your business career. What has been the most important through all of those that has helped you be successful? What's your talent, not just how smart you are, but just what has made you successful?
Overcoming adversity, without a doubt. I mean, and Dave, I'll tell you a funny story. So when I got to St. John's as a freshman, I was coming out of Annapolis, where I was kind of big fish, small pond, and my only dream in high school was to win a basketball championship. That's all I really wanted to do. I loved the idea that I loved the tradition of the Catholic League in basketball, and I barely got off the bench my freshman year. I made the varsity. Probably should have played JV, but did make the varsity. And those guys, Darrell and Lenny and Brian Christensen and Mike Bergen,
Gary Priest.
They were tough, man. They were tough, and so they were good ball players. So I didn't get off the bench much. And then my junior year of high school, we were playing prep and football, and I hurt my shoulder really bad, and I couldn't throw a ball for almost 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I can remember just being around and hearing people whispering, oh, he'll never be the same. He'll probably. And then the same thing happened in college. I went through some tough times in college and in pro ball, but I think that's to me that's kind of what's a separator for athletes. How many times can you get punched, knocked down to the canvas, and then jump back up and keep fighting, keep grinding, keep working? And I would say without a doubt, and I'll tell you, most of the guys that I've been around who've been successful, I've played with probably, 7 or 8 Hall of Famers in baseball. And, those guys, it was like they had skeletons made of steel. Like they could have terrible games, they could get crushed by the fans, get crushed by the media, and they were just unrelenting. And they would just continue to come back time and time and time again. And I think that's why they were successful.
That's amazing. Hey, Kevin, we're going to be getting over to this Bennett report, the Bennett breakdown. Do you play fantasy sports?
I don't, no.
You've got to stick around and listen to this segment. After you get off, you've got to hear this guy, Cody Bennett, just does a great job at this on the fantasy sports. You've got the 2 younger sons. I would imagine the 2 younger boys are probably into fantasy at some level because that's what the younger kids do, right? So
they love it.
So what I want to do another time, I'm definitely once we get some baseball going in the WCAC, I've got to have you on here. I asked Mark to do it, but Mark might not want to give away any of his secrets. So I'm going to have you on here. Mark Gibbs at St. John's, the head varsity baseball coach, might not want to give. But I'll definitely have you on here. We should do a breakdown. And when I was coming to do the show, I told my son, I told Harrison, I said, Harrison, I'm gonna Gibbs today. I said, you know who that is? Guess what he said?
What's that?
Mark's brother.
Yeah, I
I
love it, man. I love it.
I said, Harrison, I said, you didn't see Kevin play. You'd say a little more than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him your resume that I wrote down for the show so that I could actually give your honoraria to our fans. But thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, brother.
I definitely want to have you on again.
Yeah.
And it's always great talking old school WCAC. I'm going to save that Morgan Wooten and Joe Gallagher story. I'm going to save that for me and you to have a beer because you're going to love it. You will love it.
Hey, that's great. And listen, next time I come on, can Gary Priest come with me?
Yes.
You know I love Gary.
I'm going to get Gary Priest on. And, funny story about Gary, I met his brother my 8th grade year at St. John's. And he was like, yeah, you're going to be in the same class as my little brother, so I'm going to look out for you. So I guess I got lucky there. None of the football players beat me up. So I think my son, when he went to St. John's to do the shadow visit, he said, Dad, those guys at St. John's are really big. I said, that was the football team, son. I said, or basketball. I said, they were a lot big. They were big when I was there too. You're just not a big kid. So I said, just use your speed and try not to get stepped on over there. Kevin Gibbs, everyone.
That's great, Dave.
We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Great to talk to you too.
Oh man, we gotta have a beer sometime. And hey, good luck with the equity fund. And shoot me on the site for you and give you a little love there, okay?
That sounds great, guys. Thanks so much. I look forward to talking to you again.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Thanks, fellas. Bye.
Kevin Gibbs, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, this dude, you've got to hear some of these numbers just real quick before we get to the Bennett breakdown. This guy hit 391 in college.
That's amazing.
For a career. His batting average places him 8th on the all-time list behind Frank Thomas and in front of Will Clark.
Wow.
That's
Thrill
amazing.
Will.
Will the Thrill.
Will the Thrill. Hey.
Good friend of mine,
The
Kevin
natural.
Gibbs, ladies and gentlemen. As the show rolls on,
Thank you, brother.
Cody Bennett is here. He is ready to go. He has been waiting. We are going to do the Bennett breakdown right now. Cody Bennett, you there?
Oh.
Uh-oh, did we lose Cody?
Oh.
Can't lose Cody.
Oh, I
We
get
lost
him back.
Cody.
I get him
We
back.
gotta get Cody
no,
back.
We got him.
He's-
Cody.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Cody Bennett breakdown. Cody Bennett, we got to get you some music. We're going to get you some walk-up music, man. So next production meeting, we got to talk about that. Everybody, Cody Bennett is our fantasy guy, and I think I got 2 new viewers for you. Kevin Gibbs' his sons are probably going to get involved. So I'll get their Twitter so we can get those get you on there get them on their Twitter as followers. So
Yeah, absolutely.
big slate this weekend as fantasy playoffs ramp up. Saturday, December 19th, matchup. We've got Buffalo off the big win over Pittsburgh, going to Denver at 4:30, trying to avoid the letdown. Let's break these games down as we go. So that's Buffalo on the road at Denver.
Yeah, that's going to be a surprising game, I think. Denver's defense is beat up. They've lost a couple people for the season already. Obviously, fantasy-wise, you're going to start your studs, the guys that get you points every week. Like, Allen, you're going to have him in at quarterback. Don't get fancy and bench him. Same with Stephon Diggs. They throw the ball too much there in that offense. Someone that I like for a flex, though, that could be available in some leagues is Gabriel Davis. I got him ranked at wide receiver 28. He's got a touchdown in his last 3 games. I think he could be a good flex play against that hurt Denver defense.
Is the weather going to be a factor? And since we're talking about throwing the football?
I mean, yeah, but this guy he gets these underneath routes, those quick ones, so when the passing does happen, you can't run the ball the whole game. I think he's going to be targeted a lot.
Okay. Let's move on. San Francisco at Dallas. San Francisco coming off the loss to the Wolf, and Dallas, a rare one-game win streak. What do you see here in this game?
Well, Dallas has just been embarrassing on defense for the past couple weeks up until last week. You know, they had good 3 takeaways in that game against Cincinnati, which they looked good. But in this game, the 2 words that are going to stop them is Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
That wide receiver, he's clearly Nick Mullen's favorite target. Deebo Samuel's out with a hamstring injury, so he won't be playing. This guy's going to eat up the targets. I got him at wide receiver 8. He's going to be a great play fantasy-wise. 350 yards and 3 touchdowns in his last 4 games. So he's producing heavy, and I think he can keep it up, especially against Dallas defense.
Okay. I know I told you that we were going to do the Seattle at WFT game. Let's save that one for last. Let's talk Philadelphia at Arizona. Arizona coming off a win over the G-Men, and Philadelphia with a big win over New Orleans. So this should be an interesting game. Quarterbacks.
Absolutely. You know, I was big on Jalen last week. I was preaching to start him.
You called it.
And this week, I do think he's going to get brought down to earth a bit. Now, I'm not saying that trying to say bench him at all. I still keep him in there because I do think this game could come down to being a shootout. But it also gives me a sneaky chance of the Cardinals' defense. Like, I have a feeling that they could be good this week and possibly shut him out. That's a game that's a call, a tough call. I mean, it's either going to be real hot. You know, it's a flip of a coin for a lot of those guys, in my opinion.
How about this one? Kansas City at New Orleans. That's the 4:25 game on Sunday, CBS. That looks like a super.
It does, but I'm worried because of Michael Thomas. He hasn't practiced all week. If he is out, I don't know if that offense can get it done. You know, they haven't had much passing touchdowns over these past couple weeks because of the quarterback change. They've been heavy on the rush. Taysom Hill has been killing it, so definitely start him if fantasy-wise. But it's going to be tough for them to get it done without having any of the passing work. And Kansas City's allowing, I believe, like the 11th fewest touchdowns to wide receivers all year. So
a big reversal of fortune for their defense from last season, because you remember last year people thought that the defense for Kansas City was going to be the death of them in the playoffs, and it was the one thing that was kind of holding them back from going to that next level.
Yeah, I mean, they've shown some consistency this year, at least in that secondary. And I still don't think I would start them against New Orleans.
Their defense? Okay.
Yeah, I would not. Not saying they're going to go out and get you negative points, but you probably got some better options out there.
All right. Another game coming up that I thought was interesting. Cleveland coming off the tough loss to the Ravens on Monday night, are going to be at the Giants on 8:20. The Giants had that dirt nap the week ago. Are they?
I don't think so. I think the Browns are going to be. I think the Browns are going to be coming in hot. It's going to be tough, but my favorite fantasy option from this game is New York's tight end Evan Ingram.
Okay.
I got this guy ranked at tight end 6 this week. Cleveland allows the second most fantasy points to tight ends, and they've done it all year. It's something that I think he's going to finally bounce back and have a great bounce back game essentially, and carry some people to the playoffs. I got him starting in 3 leagues. So. Okay.
All right. This is the Monday matchup because we are going to go. Everybody, don't freak out. We are, take an Ambien. We are going to go back. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. That's the Monday night game. Pittsburgh needs a win here, don't they?
Pittsburgh needs a win. Be too difficult. The team they're playing, unfortunately, has just not looked great. There's not a player on Cincinnati I would start right now or trust starting at all. There's a couple guys out there that people might have in their lineups, but it's just risky, especially against a defense like Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receiver-wise in Pittsburgh,
Are they going to catch the ball this week, Cody?
You know, it's Deontay Johnson has been dropping balls. He's got the highest drop rate in the league, but he's still been performing surprisingly. And Tomlin came out and said after last week and the drops that he had there, he's still not going to be limited in any way. He's going to give him a clean slate this week. So I do believe he'll. But again, with a game like this against Cincinnati, the passing game out of this game, early, depending on how out of hand it could get. So someone I do like and trust, who I believe is starting this week, and you can always check on my Twitter to make things that happen, because with this guy, he's either in or he's out. It's hit or miss. James Conner, they're running. If he does get in there, man, this I do think he'll get a lot of points and perform this week.
Okay.
Just because this game could get out of hand, they're going to try to run the clock out. Someone's got to get all these touches. All the running backs in Pittsburgh are looking good this week.
All right. Cody Bennett with us on the Bennett Breakdown. Hey, I forgot to put in the Baltimore game in the production meeting. That's my fault. Can we talk about Jacksonville at Baltimore? That's the 1 o'clock game at M&T Bank. Baltimore trying to avoid the letdown after an emotional win on Monday night.
Yeah, and Baltimore actually has some COVID problems again with their wide receivers being placed in close contact on the COVID list.
Oh, boy.
Hollywood Brown and Miles Boykin both. Now, granted, this is just a close contact, so as long as these guys test negative up until game day and don't catch a positive test, they will be out there.
Maybe they need to hold on.
Yeah, but
they need a halo gun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why does this keep happening in Baltimore, Cody?
It's a great question. I mean, you look at the players that it happens to. These are young guys. I mean, these aren't vets who might be playing it a little bit smarter, and it's hard to keep these kids under control when they get in the league. Sometimes they're going to go around. And, it's what happens. But unfortunately, with this crazy COVID season, it affects us fantasy-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But we're more concerned about, most of us are more concerned about the players than the fantasy.
I hear you. All right, the game that everyone's been waiting for, game with playoff implications and a potential playoff preview. If the season ended today, the matchups would work out. This would be the matchup. Seattle would be coming here to play the Seattle against Washington. That's a 1 p.m. game, FedEx Field on Sunday. Washington sitting in first place in the NFC East at 6-7. This is a chance to get to 500.
This is it. This is a big game. It's a big game. I'm hoping they can carry the momentum. I really think they can pull this one off. The defense that this Seattle team has been playing up until last week has been some of the worst that we've seen in years. The points allowed, the yards allowed, rushing and receiving, it's been pretty crazy. Now they are extremely dangerous on offense, so I would not start that hot Washington defense on fantasy. Keep them out this week because they are going to get thrown on. They are going to get ran on, especially if Chris Carson is healthy. Backup Rashad Penny, who might be actually starting because he's been putting in limited practices all week.
What about Dwayne Haskins? Who's starting at quarterback for the WFT?
Well, Alex Smith is still projected to start. Rivera came out and said that he's okay. Who is smart as Alex Smith, not practicing all week and still being ready to get out there and play on Sunday. Now they are keeping him limited to the side to make sure that he's staying moving and how he's improving, in that calf injury that he had last week. I don't know if we'll see Dwayne Haskins. From everything that I'm seeing, it's looking up and better, for Alex Smith each day. If we do, I got some faith in him that he'll look at that tape from last week and find out the mistakes that he was making. I wasn't too impressed with how he played. Okay. I wouldn't start either one of them fantasy-wise. The only Washington player I would put in there this week would be Terry McLaurin because, again, I think this game's going to be high-scoring. I do think there's going to be a lot of offense. It's tough to stop Russell Wilson when he gets in that rhythm, and this will be a real test for that defense out there in Washington to see if we can put up with the best.
Is dropping Russell Wilson back 40 times, and this is something that Tony and I brought up on the show last week, is dropping Russell Wilson back 40 to 45 times in a game the smartest thing in the world to do against the WFT front seven? Very productive. They're very productive up front. Very active.
I wouldn't be dropping.
I wouldn't do
They
it.
are, and it is dangerous. They do have a great line out there, and he gets that protection. And even when he doesn't, Russ is quick. I believe. He's going to be the quickest one we've seen in these last 4 games. Someone that can escape out of that pocket and still throw on the run accurately. We haven't seen anyone like that.
Russ better get on the ground, man. I'm serious.
Yeah, I mean, I really think this will be the best test for Washington that we've had in these past 4 wins.
Okay.
And simply because of the dynamic that Russ brings out there on the field, he's the best quarterback, and that we'll be seeing in this win streak so far. And it's going to be a tough one, but I think they can pull it off.
Gut reaction. Who do you like in this game?
It's hard for me to go against Washington and pull it off. I'm going to go Washington by 3.
Washington by a field goal, folks. That's what the Bennett Breakdown. Cody, give them your Twitter one more time. Is it at Cody Bennett NFL?
Yeah, that's correct. You can get all my player rankings that I post every week. Start, sit, questions. You can send them over anytime right at Cody Bennett NFL on Twitter.
That's 2 N's and 2 T's in Bennett.
That's it. I'll put it in the comments here so you guys can see
My
it.
man, appreciate you.
Thank you, Cody.
Hey,
Thanks
Cody,
a lot,
do you have
fellas.
anything else for us? Anything that's on your mind or something?
Well,
what you got?
I'm hoping. I struggled earlier here with the news of Keenan Allen playing this week. He's in for tonight's game, and up right before when I came on, he screamed into the camera on the screen here, "Don't sit me." So I'm hoping everyone put him in. I tried to put it in the comments to if you got him in your league, start him. So that's the news of the night for me.
Well, I hope you didn't start Derek Carr because he just limped off the field with what looks like a groin on a scramble. I mean, he literally dropped the football and stepped out of bounds. He doesn't look good. So
Well, I'm on my way to watch the game now. So.
okay, it just happened when you were on. So I was going to interrupt you, but I said Cody's on a roll, man. Let me let him finish this up because he's looking good, man. Hey, listen, you did in the cleanup spot.
Hey, thank you. Hey,
Thanks
thank
a
you,
lot, fellas.
Cody. Darrell Green was one of your dads. He loved him. That's the old Redskins who came to the new.
Isn't that Chet's jersey?
Yeah, that's his
Yeah,
jersey.
that's your
Thank you,
man's
Chester,
jersey. Thanks, Chet.
giving us that Darrell Green. He got everybody. This is all Chester right here. He do it except for that Drew Pearson right there. Y'all saw Darrell Green talk about Drew Pearson.
Don't be talking about Drew Pearson, man.
We didn't even know that happened. We didn't even know he loved Drew Pearson like that. I just put it up because it was old school. But thank you, Cody.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Cody. Thanks a lot.
Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot,
brother.
fellas. Take care.
All right.
Cody Bennett on the Bennett Breakdown, boys and girls. Thank you very much for everything, Cody. As we get ready to wrap this up, Tony, we're going to get what we talked about today. We're going to get the information on the Zoom call. We're going to get that out.
Yes.
Anyone that's interested, definitely hit one of us up. Hit us on the page. Hit the like button.
And we have more information for you on Monday Night Show.
Yes.
When we go on Monday Night Show. So, guys, I'll be calling you guys a whole lot this week so we can get this up. We got to get these things back on the field for the people who don't feel comfortable with the vaccine. If you feel comfortable with the vaccine, that's fine. We're not mad at you. We're not shaming you. We for the people who don't feel comfortable with the vaccine want an alternative while they other folks to verify the vaccine so we can get back to playing football and baseball and all the other good stuff that we need to do.
Just to get it, it's and not just the sports, Tony. It's about life.
Life.
It's about, hey, listen, I want to go see my grandma and see my folks. Darrell Green was talking about how he uses it because of all the travel that he does.
Yes.
And to keep himself safe. So, this information that we're bringing to you from the show, we are going to continue to follow up on it. Our second guest, we had Kevin Gibbs from St. John's. Kevin has a private management fund, cannabis. He's doing great things in business, but he was also a pretty fair high school and college baseball player. Definitely wanted to bring him on the show to talk about that. We're going to get Kevin's information for for our high finance people that want to get into, want to invest in a fund. He's a good fund to work with. And, he does numbers. I definitely will put that out on the site. I'm just waiting for Kevin to send me the investor relations. it over to me. We'll get that out on the site. Then we had the Bennett Breakdown. The Bennett Breakdown this week, we had a larger slate of games than we normally did because we want to bring that to our people that are in their fantasy leagues. You got to win your league. And it's a great way to kind of get, crank it up, Tony. Get your league won. You know, I want to make sure, take it down, Tony.
I got you.
Got that Curtis Mayfield on. That means we're about to sign off. But listen,
Hey.
we had the Bennett Breakdown. Cody Bennett with some great information. You can reach Cody at Cody Bennett NFL on Twitter. That is 2 N's and 2 T's. But look on our site. We'll have it up there as well. I want to thank everybody for joining us.
Thank you.
This was our biggest viewership,
Yes, it was.
probably because of Darrell Green, not
Nick
because
Cullen,
of us.
what's up, baby? Nick Cullen with Rolling Knight. Hey, Ro, this baby, because you a big Darrell Green dude. You've been on me for years. You, Lisa Stafford, all those over.
Kim L was on.
But y'all know I am true blue till the day I die.
Tony, if it was one thing about Tony, he's loyal to his team. I got to give him that.
Hey, we got to go, baby.
We got to go. We got to get
Curtis
out of here.
Mayfield getting us.
Thank y'all
Got to
so
go.
much. I'm David Combs
I'm Tony Kennedy, baby.
on the TD Report.
Bye-bye.
Kim Kuzik, thank you for the
Hey,
thank you for the beer
thank you,
mugs.
Kim.
Oh yeah, there
TD
we go.
Report,
Thank
baby.
you. Appreciate y'all. Destination.
Your folks might understand you.
Great fucking show, dude.